So which of these countries allow prisoners to have IVF? Is it Spain, Holland or Greece? The answer is Spain.
Cheers, Amy. Now, though, it's IVF for blokes behind bars, and we're asking if it's a basic human right to have the chance of starting a family, a right even murderers should not be denied. Now, our MPs are having to ponder this very question because British law is clashing with European law once again. And if this sounds familiar to you, it should do, because a year ago, the European Court decided this murderer called Kirk Dixon should be allowed to start a family using the miracle of IVF. Dixon is currently doing life for kicking a man to death in a row over a packet of fags, right? He met his wife, Lorraine, while she was doing time for fraud. It's a really romantic tale. Dixon has successfully argued his wife would be too old to have his baby by the time he was freed from prison, and the European Court backed him. And now prisoners in Kent have been told they can apply to do the same, even though British law says lags shouldn't have access to IVF. If prison is supposed to be a punishment, it's hard to imagine why any inmate should be allowed IVF at taxpayers' expense when so many law-abiding citizens can't do the same on the NHS. But if porridge is about rehabilitation, porridge is, you know, slang, yeah, porridge is about rehabilitation, then maybe having a baby on the outside... maybe having a baby on the outside might persuade prisoners, might persuade offenders to become model citizens on their release. And researchers at De Montfort University in Leicester reckon prisoners who do become parents indeed rehabilitate quicker. Now, Europe wants Britain to give prisoners the vote as well as IVF. I say, why don't we give them the keys to the prison as well? Much easier. Mel, a basic human right to have a family, even for prisoners?
I feel for the babies that are going to be born, in a way. I don't know, I just think it's quite a tough start in life, isn't it? If both parents are doing time and you're born...
she's out.
Oh, she's out now?
She's been out for a while, yeah.
And she's the... What does she do again? She was the...
she was a fraudster.
Fraudy lady. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, gang. I don't want to be judgmental.
Well, you've got to, because the essence of this is why there's two.
On this show, you do.
You can't sit on the fence. One, is prison about rehabilitation or is it about punishment, or what combination of the two?
Yeah.
And two, do we want Europe to run our legal system, or do we want Britain to take precedence, our old system to take precedence? Those are the different things that are at play here, and that's why it's so fascinating.
Oh, I'm going to go on the positive side and say, come on, a new life might bring some new optimism and some good things to somebody behind bars.
OK, and all the people, law-abiding taxpayers trying to get IVF on the NHS, they can just wait while
And I'm saying I feel sorry for them as well. I'm on the fence, man. I am straddling the fence this morning, Matthew, I'm sorry.
Must be very painful. Reginald, because you have much tougher time in America, don't you?
Doing what?
Prison.
What?
Prison. You wouldn't give prisoners IVF treatment in America, would you?
Oh, no, man. In America, man, they believe that if you're going to punish a person by if a person deserves to be in prison, then we should punish them in every way possible to the end of their sentence, and even after they get out. It's a very, very Christian-based system where... It's just... But let me just ask, let me make sure... IVF is...
That's test tube babies.
Test tube,
okay. He sends a little sperm parcel through, presumably, some intermediary in the test tube, and off it goes.
It's in a loaf of bread.
In a loaf of bread.
It gets passed in a loaf of bread into the other prison.
They take the drugs out, they put the test tube in, yes.
Well, I would have to say, though, that, I mean, prison, you know, from what I know about it, is... there's probably a whole lot of sperm there, you know. A lot of guys...
Undoubtedly.
A lot of sperm being passed around and stuff like that, and...
Daytime.
Oh, sperm?
It's OK, yeah, no, we're OK with that.
Now, you said about what I said, or were you scared I was going?
Just careful.
Yeah, okay. I was just suggesting, though, that I think there's quite enough children here, period. I think a lot of people, people keep trying to have babies and stuff, and a lot of times people want to have babies because they want to recreate themselves in some way, or they want to deal with something in their own childhood. I think we got a lot of kids already here. I think that we should perhaps look more into adoption and stuff like that. These people who are in prison, whatever, they could be like Big Brother on the internet or something. Not the pedophiles, of course, because that could go bad.
Yeah.
But I just think I think we don't went nuts over this whole thing about having kids. Just.
This chimes with me. I'm kind of with you as well. I think there's probably too many kids around. Is it basic human right, Simon?
I don't think... I take quite a strong line on that. I don't think it is a basic human right, and I get a bit fed up with rules coming out of Europe.
Yeah. I
really do. I mean, I'm not entirely sure about that whole court thing at all. But I think there are other issues here. I mean, I do think that if you're being punished for something that you've done, it should be a punishment. First and foremost, it does not mean I don't believe in retribution.
There has to be rehabilitation.
No, but
I
know. I agree, but you can't. But there are some things you just. I think you have to draw the line somewhere. I mean, there's the cost here.
Yeah.
If this is being paid for by the NHS, then we're also paying for them to be in prison. We're also paying for the cost of solving their crime and dealing with the wreckage of whatever they did before. So we've got a big bill that these people have created. Now we're giving them a bit more to have some only potential privilege, because for all of the babies that are born in this way, there will not be all happy stories that come out of it. And at the same time, there are people who genuinely have not done anything wrong, who are not a drain on society, who pay their taxes, who are being rationed for the amount of times that they can actually have the IVF treatment. And there's nothing that says if you go to IVF, you'll get first time, second time, or even third time, which is the general ration. It might be fourth, fifth, or sixth. They're not getting that. They're losing out to the benefit of somebody who's actually demonstrated that they don't really want to be part of the system and play the game. Having
said that, I can think of no better punishment for somebody than coming home to a 2-year-old having an enormous tantrum. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they should, you know...
It's...
I take a very strong view that the punishment should fit the crime. You've got to deal with that issue first.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation comes then second, as a secondary thing, and we shouldn't be giving them any more. I think the prison's already getting too cushy a number. It is not proving to be a deterrent. You've only got to look at the kids on the street, the way they even talk to the police officers.
Maybe it's not a deterrent because it's run... I mean, you know, the Liberals would say it's not a deterrent because it's not run effectively along the lines of rehabilitation, that people don't come out rehabilitated, they're not given a fair chance by society, they've got nothing to live for, their lives are totally screwed up, and therefore they are more likely to commit crime. I mean, that's
But actually, I think there's an awful lot of... I mean, I think the prison service would tell you there's a fantastic amount of rehabilitation going on there. They all have opportunities to work, to learn trades, to do degrees, to do all sorts of things, all of which are making them do some input to get the output.
Yeah. OK. Let's throw it open to you. No IVF for blokes behind bars? Let's see what you have to say, Amy.
OK, we're going to start with Julian first on line 2.